Nirav, I hope you're an expert on this game.
There we go.
Don't worry, I am. I did the research, man.
Cool, I feel a lot less nervous.
I have like a 5-page outline here, which I'm gonna.
5 pages.
Well, I'm not gonna like read it word for word. It's just to remind me of what we're talking about.
Oh, it's like TED Talks.
Yeah.
It's like talking points.
All
I'd
right.
like to read you a short.
I guess we're recording now. So, welcome everybody to GameBusters. This is going to be a little bit of an unorthodox episode because one of our guests, Matt, is playing the game we're talking about today right now as we're recording.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get like the freshest possible perspective on this game for you. Like it could not be fresher.
Yeah, it's like Subway.
No, we had such a long conversation about Subway yesterday, dude. We cannot go back to that. Justyn, have you seen that jalapeno thing from Gus Johnson of like the jalapeno stems?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Just like
the stems.
Okay, and just quickly. There's a YouTuber, Gus Johnson, and like he did this thing where he got so angry about how shitty like. Because if you order jalapenos at Subway, he's like, look, it's all stems in here. There's only one part of the jalapeno is the stem. How is it all stems? And he went to 20 different Subways and he got the same sandwich and asked just for jalapenos. And like the ratio of stems to like the rest of the jalapeno was like 10-1.
It's weird considering they're like 10 cents.
I know.
At the supermarket, not even like
it's not the expense though. It's like how are they possibly cutting these? Oh boy, you gotta heal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're out.
Yeah, I think
Matt is using the quick menu to heal,
and
it's weird to me because I remember I guess late game and
dude,
I think I had all the
we're
upgrades.
so close,
yeah,
bruh.
get it, Matt.
You can't die. You can't die.
He's playing part A right now.
Yeah, did you run out of health potions or whatever?
Yeah, I just never buy them, and I'm like, oh, I never needed them before. And then
Zero prep work went into this
final boss fight.
Yeah, I didn't know he was the final boss.
I fucking told you yesterday, like when there's a big boss fight in this canyon here, that's the final boss of A, and you said okay.
Well, I forgot, but
okay, so
Matt.
This is horrible. So yeah, I am Nirav. That's me, and my guests here are Justyn.
Hello.
And Matt. Here.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so Rhea is not here today because, as I communicated, she ate warm Irish sushi, and that was a day old, and died. I don't think that, like, I'm worried that British people might not know what, like, food is, and so, like, whatever it is, like, you know, is in front of them. It's like, that's one.
When you say Irish sushi, do you mean like it was an Irish sushi restaurant or just like a Japanese?
She's in Ireland right now, and they went to a sushi place, and then like she didn't. First of all, she didn't finish. She was like, I'll take it home and put it in the fridge, and I was like, that's already like really really sketchy with sushi.
Risky.
That's already risky.
I think
and
the
then
problem was going to Irish sushi.
Yeah, and then the next day it turned out like the fridge like wasn't working and had not refrigerated it, and she was just like, oh, better eat it before it gets bad.
Poor girl.
This is all on the podcast.
It's like raw sushi, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's
like,
raw fish.
You can't just like, it's gone bad at that point.
Okay. Matt has just defeated the final boss as we've been speaking, or has he?
0 health potions. I have 5.
0 health potions. Phase 2, baby. Yeah. So we're talking about both of the NieR games today, NieR and NieR Automata. So we're gonna get started with our new segment, Dungeon Busters, which I don't know if anyone are you guys familiar with what we've been doing now, because the Hall of Fame luster has been destroyed.
Yes, I'm aware. I didn't get to the end of the last show, so I don't know what you do at the end, but I know what you do at the beginning.
Okay, very cool.
We have 10 minutes left in that episode.
That's good. I'm glad to hear. Okay, so I'm getting my cards out. No, Ellie. All right, so I'm gonna give each of you a character, okay, to be.
Oh, I know this game.
Okay, so I'm pulling them out of this deck of cards. All right. Do you want to do a specialty one? Do you want to do like anime or video game characters or something, or just whatever?
Probably whatever. I won't know the anime one probably. So
why don't we do video games, because it's like NieR, right? So it's
yeah,
video game. I guess NieR's kind of anime too, but Yeah.
Is this a physical deck of cards you're holding?
Yeah, it's a game called Super Fight. It has like all these. It's specifically for this. Like, this is what it was made for. Hold on. Oh, I think you might actually be done, Matt. I don't think that there's another phase. I can't remember though.
Fucking kinky. She's blindfolded and choking someone out, man. Holy.
True.
Okay, I'm just using whatever. All right, I'm just pulling out stuff from like the nerd deck thing. All right, Justyn, you are the Joker, and let's see, Matt, you're Legolas.
I'm Legolas. All right. Which Joker are we talking about?
Justyn, you take your pick of which Joker you want to be.
I'm gonna go with the cartoon.
Please be Jared Leto Joker. Give you all the reach around, Batman.
See, even I know not to do the Jared Leto Joker. He didn't know that, but I know that.
Oh.
Rip.
The conversation between Batman and Jared Leto's Joker at the end of the Justice League is like maybe the worst dialogue I've ever seen in my life.
I haven't seen that yet.
It was alright.
I don't know that.
I just like okay, like is it worth spending 4 hours of your life to watch like a movie that's like maybe a 6 out of 10, even if it is like twice as good as the original one? Okay.
It's a philosophical question.
Yeah, which we'll get into, of course. All right, so what you guys are doing is that you're each going to be given a power for your character. All right.
Okay.
All right. The top half is play another card. Jesus Christ. All right, Justyn. So you're the top half. Your bottom half of you is the Joker.
Oh.
And the top half of you is the Devil.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Is it also the Marvel, or I guess the DC, the Devil, or is it just like Devil?
I'm going for like the Devil.
I'm gonna say the Devil, like the real one. You know that makes us God-fearing Christians here on this podcast.
All right.
Are
you Hindu?
I mean that's kind of a loose definition. Sure, why not?
All right.
Yeah. Let's talk about religion.
Yeah. There's okay. You know Mindy Kaling, like from The Office. She has like her own show called The Mindy Project, and there's like a point where somebody asks her, like, character in that show, like, so what's your religion? She's like, I don't know, like an agnostic-y Hinduish thing, I guess. Which is, like, really what I identify with more than anything.
Nice.
Okay, so, Matt, you are riding a broomstick.
So is it like, okay.
It's a flying broomstick. Like... It's a flying broomstick.
Oh. Okay, it's flying broomstick. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, the first chamber here, it's an EMP chamber. Please discard all electronic attributes.
Well, I think Legolas is just an advantage, because he doesn't have any.
Yeah, Legolas flying a broomstick's totally good. I mean, the bottom half of you is the Joker. I don't think there's any sort of electronics going on there.
The top half is the Devil, too, so I should be fine.
Yeah, probably. Alright, I'll say you guys can make it through. Next room. Time disturbance. All adventurers are aging at super speed until someone can figure out the complicated lock barring the exit.
I'm immortal.
The top half of you is immortal.
Yeah. I can always crawl if like the worst comes to worst.
That sounds horrible. Does the Devil
have like regenerative powers? Can like if he loses his bottom half, does he regrow Joker limbs or does he just Devil again?
Okay, this is a philosophical question I've been pondering for a long time. If I like cut off the Devil's arm, does he grow two more arms there? Or
it's like a Hydra.
Like a Hydra. That's the situation. And then I think that I don't know. Can you guys figure out the complicated lock? I mean, are either of you going to be able to do this?
I feel like
the Devil's the ultimate trickster, so I feel like I could. I feel like that has to have some lock picking.
Did Legolas ever do any lock picking?
Well, that's the thing. He's more like he may be like rogue-ish and like ranger-ish in the movies and the books, but he's not really like a thief.
I would say more like that's more of like a Frodo or a Bilbo thing to do. I think like picking the lock.
Well, crafty.
See, I think I could do it, and then you could ask me for passage through, and you can make a deal with the Devil, and I could let you through. So I think we're good.
Oh, so I just sell my soul. I was like, hey, I sell my soul to open this lock, and you're like,
yeah,
okay,
I mean, we can do other things.
Okay. We'll make it to the final room here, and the last one is a room guarded by an evil version of each adventurer. This is the boss fight.
It was like evil Legolas, evil
Devil. The Devil. Like
Devil's evil twin.
No. Okay, so this is the Devil's like good twin. So like you're the evil, you're the evil one.
Oh, okay.
I guess, right?
Oh,
I feel like this would just be Devil v Devil, right? Like,
that
I
sounds like
don't
an eternal battle.
Legolas can't kill a Balrog, and I think the Devil's stronger than a Balrog.
Wait, but my bottom half would be the good Joker.
The,
So-
good, the good Joker.
Yeah, and so I would still have my evil Joker legs versus good. Nice Joker. I don't know what his Harvey or something. Maybe was his real name.
Harvey
before he
Dent?
came-
Harvey Dent is
No.
not the Joker.
Yeah, I'm not a big Batman person.
I'm
but,
not either, but okay, the Joker's real name is like Jerry, probably, because it starts with a J, I'm
Jerry
sure.
Leto? Oh, my
Jerry Leto is the name of the
Wizard right now
Joker.
knows what the name is, and they're screaming.
I'm gonna Google it. Okay.
But anyways,
Like his name.
I think with that evil Joker taking on like just a normal guy legs on the good.
His real
devil,
name is Jack Napier.
I got this.
Okay, well, I knew it had to start with a J, like, right.
Yeah, I think the Devil would win. Like, our side would win. So, hear me out. Legolas they'll just die. Like, both of them will just die. But the good Devil would be like, I can't kill this guy. He can be redeemed. So he won't have the, I guess the wherewithal to land the killing blow, while Justin's Devil could.
He's not it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's fine. I think that, yeah, I'll say you can. I'll say that was good enough to make it out. Just like,
Hey,
we'll count that as the final boss, since it actually said who was in the room. There was the evil ones of you. So okay, that's pretty good. We've moved on to to the basement level 3 of the dungeon now. So we'll be back next time to see what's down there. Probably some stupid shit.
We did it.
We're just getting
we're
warmed up.
heroes.
Okay,
The devil.
The Devil's a hero.
the devil is my hero. That sounds like a fucking anime.
It's like
Yeah.
the new Isekai, where the
Yeah.
guy dies and goes to the new world.
Yeah, was it the devil is a part-timer is the one I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the main segment. Welcome to Bustums, everybody. So yeah, we were talking about the NieR games today. NieR Replicant version 1.224531419 whatever is out. Which I think I actually just said my zip code. But
Get dedoxed.
don't dox me, please. Yeah, so we'll go and jump into it. So as I said, Matt is like as we were talking in our Discord here, streaming him playing Nier Automata for the first time, and kind of experiencing ending A here. So wait,
Long
Matt,
ending.
yeah, Matt, how long did it take you to get here?
Steam tells me 6 hours.
Okay, that's probably about right.
And yeah,
Yeah, please love the big robot.
I guess that also includes so last night I was playing, and
Yeah.
or this will be slight spoilers for Route A.
We're gonna have to do a few spoilers. We're not gonna do like late game spoilers, but
Yeah.
and
That's the
Matt,
first ending.
yeah, and
No.
Matt, I think you've already been spoiled for some of the stuff on C and D anyway.
I have inadvertently. And
Hey,
because of
there's
my own
the-
curiosity.
Flowers for machines.
Oh,
Nice.
Route A, capitalize.
You got it.
But
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah, we're gonna talk about like sort of the creation of this series in the first place, and kind of like go up through Automata and of course the new remaster. So I don't think a lot of people actually know this. NieR is actually a spin-off, the original one of a game called Drakengard, which was an action game that was also developed by the same director Yoko Taro like a long time ago, for the PS2 era games. And they made 2 Drakengard games, neither of which was successful commercially or critically. So the you're stopping? Come on.
well, I'm not gonna play through B.
Okay,
I'm a professional here.
sure. Okay, so yeah, NieR actually started off as Drakengard 3, but then they realized like they hadn't used any of the same characters or concepts or anything, so they were like, I guess this is a different game. And they decided to call it a spin-off. And so this guy, the director, Yoko Taro, I think we have to talk about for a second. I think you guys have both seen pictures of him now, right?
It's very unique
With
guy.
his mask on. I don't think I've seen his face.
No one has. I don't think
No.
even his wife knows what he looks like.
He's like Daft Punk.
Yeah, he's sort of the Japanese Daft Punk. So if anyone hasn't seen Yoko Taro, who's listening, the director of these games, please just Google that quickly so you can kind of see what we're dealing with. If you can find that GIF of him rolling around on the ground during a very professional interview, that's probably the best one. So
He's just doing like stop, drop, and roll during that whole thing, isn't he?
yeah, pretty much.
Like
Yeah.
randomly rolling. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they actually started development on NieR for the PS2, and then the PS3 came out, and they were like, well, fuck the PS2, right? And they shifted over to making it for that system and the Xbox 360. I was actually pretty surprised because I know the Xbox is like really not popular in Japan, so it was kind of surprising they like decided to do that so long ago. They were like, yeah, put it on the Xbox.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Exclusive?
No. Like they were gonna do Xbox 360 and PS3.
Okay.
But like this is one of like maybe the first Japanese games to like be on an Xbox, because like Japanese developers never ever made games for Xbox or 360, and like even Xbox One, like all the Japanese games that it got were like a year later. Like even Nier Automata came to Xbox a year later.
Oh.
Because it was like nobody, because like just there was a very famous month, I think in like November 2018, where one Xbox was sold in the entire country of Japan.
Wow.
Wow.
So just to like let you know how fast they're moving those boys over there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's kind of crazy.
I feel bad for Microsoft.
So yeah, like Microsoft, like this is a side note, but Phil Spencer at Microsoft has made it like very, very much his mission to like, for like years it's been his mission to be like, I want us to have a first party Japanese studio. Like, I want us to be making Japanese games, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and after they bought Bethesda, they finally got one. Tango Gameworks it was one of the Bethesda studios, but now it's one of theirs. So yeah, they got a Tokyo Ghostwire coming. That's a first party Japanese Xbox game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ghostwire.
Hope it's
Ghostwire
good.
Tokyo.
Yeah, that one has got me if you watch the gameplay video for that, it is like not at all what you're expecting.
Oh, they have gameplay now? I've only
Yeah.
seen the original.
Yeah. There's a gameplay trailer for it. It's actually it's like a first person like high intensity like, you know, action horror game.
Yeah.
But it's like not with guns or anything. It's like you doing like fucking magic spells and
Like
karate
magic.
and shit. But it's like
Yeah.
it's like first person. It's like really surprising. I don't think I've seen anything like that.
It's like casting Skyrim spells, but way more flashier.
Yeah,
I guess.
but maybe like it would feel good or do
And better.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah, you do like hand signs and stuff like.
Yeah, yeah. It's like these ancient Japanese, you know, like ritual things, right? You're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. So anyway, back to like this thing, whatever it is. So this was like initially a pretty small scale project, but the development lasted like only about 2 years developing the game. Because they were building it off of the previous Drakengard game, so they had a lot of the stuff done already. And that was done by a studio called Kavia, which Yoko Taro was a part of at the time, with help from Square Enix, who was publishing it. And Yoko Taro and Square Enix have had like a good working relationship. They have, even though his games have, until Nier Automata, all of his games were commercial and critical flops. But like they stuck with him anyway. They were like, this guy has a vision, he's doing what he wants to do, like let's just give him the money and get out of there. So like Square Enix like has on both of these games had about zero input like creatively on what goes into them, which is cool. Like I hate when fucking like people are EA sneaking in to like see like, hey BioWare, what you doing? What if you did this instead? Just like letting creative people just do the thing they're trying to do. And then, you handle your money stuff over there.
Yeah, like if you let the creative leads for a game do their thing, they have their vision, right? It can't be muddled down by politics, but more
fucking SJWs, dude.
corporate
Muddling our
politics.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so according to Yoko Taro, this story of because Drakengard was like such a dark story, this one was going to be more about the power of friendship and like, working together. He said the game was actually inspired by 9/11, NieR, the first game.
Wow.
Yeah. I did not know that either. He said that he looked at that. He said he looked at that concept of this horrific event in history where the bad guys, like the terrorists, really believed they were doing the right thing in the eyes of God, in the eyes of ethics, and was like, how did it get to that point? Like, how did it get to that point where like destroying so much and killing so many people was the right thing to do? And like backing up from that, he was like, I want to show a story where there's a truly evil force, and then like try to see like why they became evil, how they became this way, and why they believe they are the right side. So I was like, that's an interesting, I guess, bouncing off point. It's bold vision.
Sure.
So this is really confusing, the names of these games, because they concurrently created 2 versions of the game Nier, and released them both at the same time. I guess it was like a Pokemon Red Blue situation.
Route A, Route B.
Well, no, because like Route. So there's Jesus, dude. There's actually there's a Route A through E in the original Nier as well. But these 2 games were called these 2 original games for the PS3 and Xbox 360 were called Nier Replicant and NieR Gestalt, the original ones. And those were released in 2010. So Nier Replicant featured Nier, the main character, as like a 16-year-old kid, and his sister was Yona. This character, so he was like a brother of Yona. And then in Gestalt, they had an older version of Nier who was in his like 30s, and he was Yona's father. And there was literally no other differences between the 2 games.
Probably just age.
Yeah, but like they were the same exact game, just with a differently aged protagonist. And they said that they actually made the Gestalt version, which is the one that was released in America eventually, because they thought that Western audiences wouldn't want to play a video game like as a teenager. They said like, no, like Western audiences want to play as like a big buff man, like they love the Call of Duties and stuff. They like want to be adults, so like that's why they made a second version of the game specifically like for Western audiences. Which is like a really weird decision, I think. I don't know.
I don't like that just because, assuming like the ages are different. Well, not even assuming, the ages are different.
Yeah,
right?
It's like someone,
a
16
16-year-old
versus
will make a
30-year-old.
different decision. Yeah, and a 16-year-old will make different decisions in game than a 30-year-old. And
Right.
I don't know.
I agree with you. And like the original like quote unquote true version of the game is like where he's a kid, like he's like a teenager, and so they believed like I said, the Japanese audience would respond more strongly to a younger protagonist. So literally they just modified a few lines of dialogue and then made him a father rather than a brother to Yona, who's like his as I guess I know her as his sister, but yeah, it's just like a really weird situation. And then Gestalt is the one that was released out here in the West, and where you play as like the adult Nier, and it's like really weird. I don't know. I think that was like in a weird time when Japanese. There was like a long time where Japanese games like were trying to appeal to Western audiences by like, we need like this needs bigger guns or something. Like they had no idea what people like actually wanted from a video game.
Why Claude had a giant sword?
I think everyone likes big sword. I think that's an international love.
That's true.
So actually, they said the combat of Nier was inspired by God of War, which Yoko Taro was a huge fan of the original God of War trilogy on the like PS2, PS3, and he wanted to kind of replicate that because he said there weren't any Japanese games that were like God of War. And so those games were not popular in Japan, by the way. Like the original, like even the new God of War, like none of those have been popular at all in Japan. But he kind of wanted to like give it a little more like he wanted to like add some RPG elements, I guess, to this action game, because it was originally supposed to be kind of just a straight action game, and then he was like, no, like let's make it more of an RPG. So I think what he said here was that like, yeah, he's like, oh, Square Enix is this is gonna make some people angry. So Yoko Taro was like, well, Square Enix's action RPG series for children is Kingdom Hearts, so I want this to be our action RPG series for adults.
What? Okay, sure.
Well, I mean, Kingdom Hearts is a bunch of Disney characters, so
I guess, yeah.
Take that.
Yeah, so that was like where the decision to make a main character in his 30s for the international version came from, and he also wanted to put in like more like blood and swearing and like sex and violence than like Square Enix normally did for their games. And like I don't know, again, I think this was all stuff he did to like kind of make it be like I want this to have like international appeal, and like it kind of fell flat in that regard. So, like I said, like Nier Gestalt would be released for the Xbox 360 with the adult lead, and then Nier Replicant was for the PlayStation 3 only in Japan with the younger lead, which is like, this is extremely confusing.
Yes.
So, Nier was like a huge flop, I'll go ahead and say. This original game, across both of those versions worldwide, it only sold 500,000 copies.
Ooh.
And it got a 68 on Metacritic. Which was like the lowest for like a Square Enix RPG. So this was like not good. However, they were like, okay. Yoko Taro was like, yeah, like I liked what we did here, but like we didn't really hit our true potential. Like I want to do a sequel, and he went and pitched his sequel idea to Square Enix, and they were like, okay, like we'll give you the money to do another one, but we want somebody more competent to do the gameplay. Like we don't want this. Your studio like fucked it up basically.
Yeah.
And so they reached an agreement with Platinum Games, who was coming off hot from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and they had also done Bayonetta before that. So they were like, Square Enix reached out to them and was like, hey, we want you to like put your like kind of signature like high intensity combat into this series, and like. Platinum was like super stoked to do that. This is a very strange thing. They like had to create a very specific contract for this game to be made. So Yoko Taro he stepped out of his company and he became a freelancer, and then was contracted by Platinum Games to be the director of this game. So he actually had to move from Tokyo to Osaka, where Platinum Games is, to do this game. So this is like a really unusual situation, because like Yoko Taro, his thing was like, I'm not letting this game be made without me. Like, I'm going to direct it, but I also don't want my own studio to direct it. And so that's kind of what resulted in him like becoming the director of the game, and then Platinum Games being the studio that made the game. But like, this was a really weird collaboration, but like after he got there, everyone at Platinum was like huge fans of the first game, and they like really wanted to like, they were like so excited like to make a sequel to this game. So they ended up working well together. Yeah.
I think you talked to me about this, but was it like Square didn't give Nier like a lot of funds? I guess?
Yeah, like yes, Nier, the original one, was like a really low budget affair, honestly. I mean, I don't have an exact number, but like they've talked about, they really struggled to like get the game out, and they had like a pretty small team doing it too. And then on the second game, they still honestly, like I'll be frank, like it doesn't have a huge budget either. It was like given enough to be made, but like Square Enix was really, really betting big on this game, because they were like, all of your games before have been like absolute failures. And
this was basically the last chance.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I think that is how a lot of the execs at Square Enix looked at it. Like, all right, this guy's so enthusiastic, and like the thing is that like Yoko Taro has like this like cult fan base following of like, people who like think that his like Drakengard games and stuff were like the best games ever made, right? And like he has a fan base there, so they're like, all right, give him one more shot, maybe he can make something that's accessible to like, humans.
Yeah, clearly he's doing something right, so maybe if we give him a budget, he could do something.
Right.
Some guidance.
Yeah.
So, the original plan for Nier Automata was actually that it was going to be for PlayStation Vita exclusively.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. So, he said that they intended it to be... I don't know what this means here. Yoko claims they intended for it to be similar to Farming Simulator Farmville from 2009.
What?
That's the recipe you want to follow for success.
I think, well, I mean, dude, back then, I mean, do you remember how successful Farmville was?
Yes, I played a little bit.
I could kind of see maybe they do it where it's like, instead of controlling 2B, you're the commander, maybe? And then you're just like sending out guys on missions, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. So they started production in 2014, and they had a lot of staff from the original Nier, from like the other studio, Kavia, like were hired on as freelancers as well at Platinum Games. And so there was like a huge, apparently Yoko Taro and Platinum Games had like kind of a hard time working together at first because they had like different daily schedules. And so like they established a thing where Yoko Taro had no hours and he would literally just like walk in and out of the studio at his pleasure.
That's how you negotiate a contract, right?
Yeah,
there. That's
dude.
pretty cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
just come and go as you like.
Yeah, sounds good. But I think also I remember him talking in an interview about like he had his wife and children back in Tokyo, and like he was working in Osaka, so like he wanted to like be able to spend time with them, so like it was important to him to be able to come and go like back home and stuff.
Yeah, I guess Tokyo to Osaka is like pretty far, eh?
It's not super far. I think by like high speed rail it's like 3 hours, two and a half, 3 hours, so it's not that bad.
Did he do that every day, or
no? I don't think he did. I think he just like would come and go like during the week,
Okay.
Yeah,
just check on everyone?
yeah, because he like did officially move over there to Osaka, but yeah. So like when they started working on the story, and I don't like this at all. I'm gonna just communicate. This is a direct quote. This is a direct quote from Yoko Taro. The scenario of Nier was wet in its emotional content, but Nier Automata, we aimed for it to be a dry narrative concerning the world's inherent unfairness and prejudices the characters are forced to confront.
I see what he means.
I don't know if I'd use wet and dry. Like,
Well, I mean, that's pretty common, but
I see, like
wet?
What is a wet narrative?
that's just the opposite of dry. Like it's I don't know. Maybe he didn't have like the right word for that, or whoever
Maybe it's a
translated it.
translation error.
it's like
Yeah.
a Boston translation thing, yeah.
But, like having like a dry narrative, or I don't know, just being like a dry personality or whatever. Like that's a thing, but having a
Yeah.
wet personality is not.
Jesus.
Maybe like when they're trying to do too much stuff and like it just didn't work out of thing.
I guess. I didn't play that first one, so.
The moisture is different mechanics.
The moisture, yeah. There's actually weirdly a dedicated moisture button in the first one. That's probably what it's referring to.
Oh, and they got rid of it.
I need
so
to
it's more
make
try.
I need to make clear that I'm joking, because that of course could have been real.
You never know with Japanese
You
games.
never know.
Well, there's a whole thing where it's like you were telling me this yesterday. It's a slight tangent, but
Mhm.
in Nier, we're trying to get achievements.
Oh
And they're
fuck
trying
that
to get the
achievement!
achievement to
Jesus
look at her
Christ!
ass. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
So Justin, you know about that one?
Yeah, it's like a shaming achievement.
Yeah. There's like a trophy called "What Are You Doing?" and it's like if you turn the
Yeah.
camera to look at her ass 10 times.
yeah, it was 10 times.
I should have checked before if I had that trophy or not.
I checked. I didn't get
sure.
it. I actually didn't get it. I checked Steam.
I tried for a good 20 seconds.
We
I said,
tried
this
for a
is-
little while.
I'm
I looked on a
trophy
YouTube
hunter,
video.
So
I looked on a YouTube video though, and what they did was like they put her up on like a ledge, and so it's like a lot easier to do it. I
I mean, I guess that makes more sense. I kind of just like spun the camera around like an idiot.
yeah. So when designing like the ending of Nier Automata, which I won't spoil here, but I mean, Justin, you know what it is. Like he was actually inspired by a publicity stunt from Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah. I saw someone talking about this.
Yeah.
If you guys want to talk about the ending, I don't mind. Like,
No, it's
but
okay. I
that's
won't
more
spoil
for
it. I won't spoil that
Okay.
last part there, but so this publicity stunt from Coca-Cola was where there were 2 Coke vending machines in India and Pakistan, and they have like a long history of mutual conflict, we'll say. But there were 2 Coke machines that were connected, and every time that you were getting a Coke dispense from the vending machine in like India, like you would see the person on the other end in Pakistan who was standing there, like their face, like as they were doing it too, and like the idea was to like make these 2 groups of people realize that we're all just people, like you're both here getting the same Coca-Cola at the same time, like we're all.
Sounds like that Kylie Jenner Pepsi commercial.
Jesus. This is okay. This is like if the Kylie Jenner Pepsi commercial had been like at all effective.
Yeah.
It's really sweet if you like watch the videos.
Yeah, it's really nice. You should watch that.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was like really impressed by this, but like he originally the concept was like this is like really fucking funny. Like he wanted to originally design just in a vague sense, Justin, like you get help from people at the end of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
from other humans. And so the original design doc of this, which Yoko Taro found much too difficult to implement, was that you would specifically receive help from players who were in like countries that like your country had been at war with.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, like what we would have done, like maybe Vietnam or something. Like,
I mean, like how far back do you go?
I don't know.
And like what if you're like a very peaceful country?
Yeah,
or,
I
like,
think
a neutral country.
he said that was just his original concept, but once they started working out, he was like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's too much even for me. What he said.
Yeah, so the narrative is like really heavily, you know, like philosophy influenced, of course. It makes a ton of references to like thinkers and philosophers. So like some characters like Pascal being named after Blaise Pascal, which we talked about yesterday, Justin. Like, do you know Pascal's wager?
Yeah.
That like it's smarter to just bet that God exists because in like the event that he does, like then you're covered, kind of a thing.
Yeah. That's I mean, it's pretty safe logic. I like his way of thinking.
So that's what the character Pascal in this game, he's named after him. And then there's a character named Jean-Paul, and there's one as well named Simone, which were named after Simone de Beauvoir and Jean-Paul Sartre. And then he also said that he used books by Will Buckingham and Nigel Benson, who are other philosophers, to just like try to, you know, create ideas and themes for this narrative. Interestingly, also Yoko Taro wrote pretty much the entire narrative on his own. He was the director and the lead writer for this game.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is not usual. I know that in movies that's a lot more common, but in games it's actually quite unusual for somebody to do that.
The narrative like really sneaks up on you. Like it's very like JRPG anime on the surface, and then like my first playthrough, I was going through it and I was like, oh, there's some like philosophers here. Like I noticed some of these names and like I got some of the ideas because they're a little heavy-handed sometimes. But
yeah,
if you go back and like look at like the ideas he came up with behind all this, it's
Mm-hmm.
very smart, very smart.
Yeah, I think so too. I also have to say, this is really interesting to me. Like when they were designing the RPG part of the game, Platinum Games actually said they were directly inspired by The Witcher 3, and they wanted to replicate that in their RPG and quest design. And then they said they were worried they would like they had some internal arguments about that because they like some people were like, we're never going to be able to be The Witcher. Don't try.
God, how old is The Witcher?
The Witcher came out in 2015. And yeah, this started
Wow.
development in 2015. So
Oh, okay, yeah, I feel old.
yeah, that game's 6 years old now. It's wild. It's a wild hunt. Did y'all see that the Witcher mobile
Nice.
game is actually out in beta now?
As
Is it?
Yeah, apparently it's like now it's just coming out in beta. It's that fucking Monster Hunter one. It's like Pokemon Go, but like it's the Witcher and you have to kill the monsters instead of catch them.
Yeah. It's like the Harry Potter one, kind of.
Yeah. Dude, I downloaded that Harry Potter one, and then in the first 30 seconds, it was like, throw this net onto Hagrid and capture him.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking
Hagrid
about?
ran away. We gotta catch
Like,
him.
yeah, we gotta get him. I was like, I uninstalled that quite quickly. Okay, so they actually said, so for the RPG parts, like I said, they were inspired by The Witcher 3. They said that the side-scrolling stuff was inspired by Castlevania. And Tora, who was one of the main producers, he said that was his favorite game series, Castlevania. So he was trying to replicate some of that feeling for the 2D parts. I don't know, Matt, have you gotten that impression from it?
Not really. I really was playing the game to just like blitz through it, kind of. That's why I kind of
Mhm.
got it done so quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll probably like understand the deeper concepts, especially when you guys talk about
Yeah.
later
So
on.
can we?
Justin, after you beat his first playthrough,
So Matt,
you guys
there's
can
a
talk about it.
no.
like,
There's like a big revelation at like the very beginning of playthrough B, that like kind of changes the perspective of like what the whole story is about.
Yeah, you talked. I think you play as 9S, right?
You do play
And,
as 9S, yeah, but like, so do you? I mean, like, you're gonna get to it pretty soon anyway. Do you mind if I say what that is? Like,
Well, can I give you my guess
okay, sure.
oh yeah.
here? So, spoiler for the end of part A. When like 9S he kind of dies,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like choking him out, and she's like, "Not again," or something like that.
Yeah.
My theory is like his consciousness gets uploaded to the past or some time thing. Was that close?
In a way.
It doesn't get uploaded to a time thing, but I mean, yeah, like there is a thing about uploading consciousness, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So the big revelation is that humans have been extinct for like 100 years. Like humanity died out a long time ago.
Okay.
So anyone that you're seeing, all the people that you're talking to that are people are androids.
Okay, so like I kind of thought they were doing that with the first time you see Adam, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just like a machine, but he's like bleeding and everything like normally.
Yeah.
And then they showed it when you're rescuing 9S from that whole white city.
Right.
He's bleeding too, and I'm like, wait, I thought it was gonna be like fucking Futurama with the oil.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe this is like something.
Yeah, and so like the idea here is that like your characters sort of realize that like they're fighting ostensibly for humanity, like they're fighting against humanity's extinction, but they lost this war hundreds of years ago, basically. And it's like the question of that Nier Automata poses is that like, can life continue like without humanity, and like what do you even have to do to be considered human? Like why are you telling me that 9S and 2B are not human? What about them isn't human enough for you?
Yeah, especially when like she's like at the end she's crying.
Yeah,
they show
right.
real big emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I think you talked about how 9S his gameplay is very focused around hacking.
Yeah.
Like I kind of got the feeling as the story progressed that 9S kind of became more human in a way. I don't know if that's just because he saw
it is
how the robots kind of are.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly what happened. And like one really fascinating thing about this, like in the playthrough B, is that when you're hacking these characters, especially like the bosses or like significant characters, when you're fighting them, like you see glimpses into their past and like who made them, like how they became what they are, and like especially like, so Justin, do you remember like the opera singer fight, like when you like are hacking her and stuff, like seeing her story?
I think it's like the best one. Yeah,
dude, that like I fucking was on the verge of like tears by the end of that. Like when you're like seeing like how she got to where she is, like the concept of seeing that and then like thinking at the end like that was just a robot is kind of like the challenging part of this. Is like why do you like what is the meaningful difference between these robots and like us as humans? Like humanity persists beyond humans is like the idea.
Yeah, like when they have all these like personal motivations, ambitions, personality traits, all these things that could potentially make them human. What is the difference between them and human? I guess.
Yeah. So I do want to ask you about how have you been enjoying the music?
The music is really good. So sometimes when I can hear it. That's because like sometimes when I'm streaming off and like Ryan or you are watching.
Oh, fair.
And we're just talking, I can't hear it, so I'm like.
Fair enough.
I'm just playing through the game.
So
the time I'm playing by myself, it's really good.
Yeah. They won a bunch of awards for both of these games for the music. Like I'll also go and tell you like the music in the original Nier is like just as good.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and the same guy did the music for both. Like he was one of the freelancers that came along with the project. You know, Keiichi Okabe. And you know he did the composition of the soundtracks. He arranged the orchestras, all that shit, and was like the sound director. And you know both are like on pretty much every list of like, oh, this is like the best game music. Like you'll find these games pretty much. I would honestly like this is one of those games where like I definitely like have just gone and like on Spotify and like listened to like the soundtrack just devoid of the game, you know, for some songs. I think my favorite one is like the "This Will Not Continue," which is like right from the beginning. This cannot continue, with the fucking robots chanting and everything. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, and they kind of like overlap with each other.
Yeah. I love that the opera singer, like this game uses music in like such an interesting way. Like the opera singer thing, you know, like I don't know if you were like listening to the music when that was playing, but like her like movements and like what she's doing is like in time with like the music and everything. It's like really cool. And like, you know, she's like singing the song, but like, and when you're 9S and you're like hacking her, you can like see what the song is about that she's singing while you're fighting her.
Oh.
So like,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So one interesting thing also I found was that like naming their character Jean-Paul Sartre, so the apparently the estate of Jean-Paul Sartre would not allow that his name could be used in the game. And so like that's why they had to name him Jean-Paul instead of Sartre. Which was like, I don't know, is that like weird to anybody else?
To like get around the licensing, I guess.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's not like I don't know, like name copyright. I don't. It's like weird. I don't know why your estate would like not want you to be used like that. I think that's a cool little homage to you, you know. But
I think
I'm sure they heard like the video game and they're like, oh, I don't want we're above
Yeah.
video games.
yeah,
like a
probably.
negative stigma somewhat.
Yeah.
in, like,
Yeah.
video games
Man,
where it's
you
like,
are.
oh, it's just a game. You think his life was a game or something? I don't know, some bullshit like that.
Life
But-
is a game. It's a philosophy. Yeah, so this
So
game
much
was
so.
like fucking wildly successful. It sold 6 million copies worldwide as of now, and it's which I mean, like I know it's not like Mario levels, but like for a JRPG that's not Final Fantasy, like that is insane, and that's actually more than almost every Final Fantasy anyway. Like So yeah, it also got a 90 on Metacritic, so super well received by critics and obviously well received by fans.
Yeah.
Came out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So just to put that in context, like the original Nier sold 500,000 copies, 68 score. This had a 90 score and sold 6 million copies. So bit of a jump.
Just a bit, you know.
Yeah, got a lot of awards, like got Best Music from the Game Awards. It was actually won Game of the Year at the Japanese Game Awards and was Best RPG at the DICE Awards. So got some good recognition.
I think so I was ragging on the game a lot. I guess that's why Justin bought it for me. I was like, this game can't be that great. And I still think it's not like anything, like, no offense to you. Like, I just personally, as like a gamer, like, I don't like...
As a gamer.
RPG.
I love my polished games. And I can definitely appreciate what Nier has done. But I wouldn't give it, like, my top. I think it's like a solid 8.
Hold on. Okay, when I first played, first of all, I don't think anyone ever plays this game without having someone like push them into it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I did not
You
like
shoved me
it
into
a
it.
whole lot. Yeah, I did basically. I was like, here it is. If you don't play it, you'll feel bad.
And I was like, yeah, I would, because he bought it for me, so I just played.
Yes. Gifted. No, but the first time I played it, I was like, yeah, it's cool. Like it's a hack and slash. There's some like 2D gameplay. I like the whole like bullet hell stuff.
Yeah.
And then my friend was like, yo, he's like, have you beat part A? Part A? And I was like, what do you mean part A? And I finally beat it. And he was like, I go, okay, I think I'm done with it. And he was like, no, there's a whole, just keep playing the whole game. So you just finished the part where when I finished, I was like, yeah, it's good, but I appreciate it, but it's not for me. I don't want to just keep playing because I didn't know what was ahead. So I would say hold off judgment until you've completed it properly, I guess.
I feel like he's prescribed me to a cult or something. Like,
like,
get better. Trust me.
It's kind of like that, sure, but
Actually,
like,
it does get better. But yeah.
yeah, no,
how
it
did you hear
does.
about this game?
And
like was somebody coaching you? Like, how'd this happen?
yeah, I'm trying to remember now because I played this such a long time ago. I got this on. Wait, actually, you know what? I got this I think I actually bought this in 2017. I want to say, not like right when it came out, but I actually I think I remember somebody. Yeah, no, a friend did tell me about it and told me that I needed to play it, and like, I didn't even know this was a sequel. Like when I got it.
I didn't know anything about. I'd never heard of this series.
Yeah,
I was told about it.
Yeah, which I mean that makes sense looking back on where it came from, but
Yeah, fair enough.
No, yeah. So like a friend that had like played it and was like, "Yo, Nirav, like you would really like this. Like it's really good. Like there's like he's like, yeah, just make sure you keep playing after like ending A. Like there's more." And I was like, all right. For me, that was like kind of just like somebody initially pushed me into it and was like. Mm-hmm. By the end of A, I was like, oh, okay, like, let me see what else is going on here. That was fine, I guess. And then, like, I remember being on, oh, you know what I did? Because I was, like, at the end of ending A, I was like, all right, that was, like, fine, I guess. I don't know what the hubbub's about. And, like, I went on Reddit and, like, asked about it, and people were like, bro, bro, just keep going, bro.
Yeah.
You know, bro.
It's weird too. That's one of my criticisms of the game. It's one of my very few.
Yeah,
it's like,
I agree.
If I didn't have somebody tell me to play, I would have stopped at A. And then part B, Matt, by the way, and anyone listening, if you're going to think about playing, part B is a lot of it, basically A again.
But it's from the perspective of 9S.
Yeah, you're changing perspectives, but they're together most of the game, right?
Right, yeah. So it's mostly the same, and like I would agree that's one of my few complaints. If like, I think if I had been like in the design room for this, like I would have said to like make both of, if you were gonna go that route, to make both of the like A and B shorter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So I can see that's a valid complaint, and like. I think I also just got really lost in that world though, so I ended up like blasting through it. I think I played this whole game in like a week because I was like really into it. Yeah, this is just one of those that like really caught my imagination. Also, I'm like a huge sucker for like nature has retaken civilization aesthetic. It's like my favorite aesthetic. Like, you know, like Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn, like both are like kind of did that, you know, better. And like we talked about, like this game has like a low budget, and you can kind of see that in the environment work and stuff.
Yeah, the enemies kind of feel like I talked about this earlier, where when I first picked up the game, the color palette seemed really bland. Like it's very like the desert, the city, they both seem very it's very dreary, I guess.
I think it's like kind of bleak, I guess I would say. Like, and I think it's supposed to be, and like, but that also is something that's off-putting. Like, okay, I'll also say you can make a world that like I mean, whatever other issues I have with it, like The Last of Us 2, like was perfect in that, like the art direction, like absolutely communicated like the bleak destruction of humanity, but like was still gorgeous at the same time. But it like made you feel sad just to look, you know?
Yeah.
This game is beautiful too. It's parts like when you go to the fair.
Carnival? I love the amusement park. And like
amusement park. Thank you. Yeah.
I love that like the switching the color palettes to like the like, you know, purples and pinks and yellows. It's really cool.
Fireworks going off and balloons and stuff.
Very
cute.
I wish I'd put.
That's what makes it so memorable to me, I think.
Yeah.
There's a couple of times it forces perspective, which I'm personally not the biggest fan of, but some places I appreciate it. Like when you beat the amusement park and you're traveling from the amusement park to Pascal's village, I think like that's still, or not, it's not really still, but like the backdrop of the amusement park and the fireworks going off is really good.
Yeah. Like I think that probably with like some more money, like this could have been a lot nicer looking, and I think that's probably what we're like with the new Nier Replicant, like, you know, remaster. Like that's kind of like what it looks like. Yeah. I think it looks really good, but like you can kind of see like, man, like that is a PS3 ass looking game. Like, you know, we'll get to that though.
It doesn't really age. Well, I guess.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, I still think it's a really good game, just because I try not to let art focus too many. It's more like if the art's whatever, I kind of think it's whatever. But if it's good, I think it elevates the game.
Yeah,
I think the problem is it's not very stylistic, so I think it will age pretty badly.
Yeah,
I agree. I think this game is probably going to need a remaster in like 5 years as well, which I'm sure it will get. You know, I can totally see that. So I also wanted to tell. I did not know this either until today. There was actually a musical stage play in Japan for Nier Automata.
Really?
Yeah, during the early development of the game, but like it was called something else, and like nobody knew it was about Nier.
What was it called?
They use the same music? I don't understand.
No, it was just like a musical play, it was like a stage play, like a musical, but it was like following the story of this game. But it was before the game had been made, and I think they like kind of disguised it. But like,
it's so weird.
But like, I guess that kind of fits in with what we're doing.
Is it on YouTube or something?
Actually, let me look here quickly. I didn't get time to look. I'm just.
Take a glance.
Yeah, just take a glance at how that did.
It can't be good.
Oh, it was just
my first impression.
It was just called Yorha. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it tells the story. It's a prequel to Nier Automata. It says it tells the story of the Pearl Harbor descent mission during the 14th Machine War. Okay. I want to see how it did. Like, did people like it? I can't find it.
It was fine, but probably not a Yeah.
Let me see. It says they're now on Amazon. You can watch them on Amazon Prime. Okay.
Well, for the hardcore fans,
It was called Your. Sorry, it says the Nier Automata prequel stage play and musical Yorha Boys, and Yorha musical. I would love to be part of the Yorha Boys.
Yeah, would you pay to see, like, you know how VTubers are a thing now, apparently, right? Would you pay to watch, like, 2B, 9S, A2, like, in a boy band?
Yes.
Make, like, a song?
Hey? Sure.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll pay. I'd pirate it. Okay.
So this game was like an explosive success, like I said, and these characters and things found their way into other games. So like, I don't think either of y'all have played Final Fantasy XIV. I haven't either, but it's like the MMO one.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
I saw that. I saw what they did.
Yeah. So there's actually a full set of Nier Automata like raids and like characters and stuff. Like 2B and 9S appear in the game as well, and like. You can get like items from the game, like I think Pascal shows up at one point, but like basically there was actually a new raid last week to celebrate like the release of Nier Replicant in that same like, themed around it. Yeah, so I mean I'm not sure what those consist of totally, but I've heard that they're really fun. 2B also is a playable character in Soul Calibur 6.
Oh yeah, she is.
Yeah. And costumes of 2B have found their way into like a ton of other games, like Phantasy Star Online 2 and like Gravity Rush 2.
I can see that.
Yeah, and then so actually this is kind of fun. Nier Replicant. I'm just gonna call it Nier Replicant version 1.22 because there's way too many numbers there.
We forgive you.
It also has cool costumes. So like the pre-order bonus for this game was that if you you can like put 9S's outfit you can put on Nier, and Kaina, who's the girl, can wear either 2B or A2's outfit, which is kind of cool. So I tried that out and was like, okay, this is kind of cool, and like I ran around for a little bit, and then I was like, like this feels like it's like infringing on the spirit of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I was like, these characters aren't in this game. Like and I put them back to their normal costumes, but that was kind of cool. They had that.
I think it's cool, like little.
Yeah.
Thing. Like for the people who appreciate, I guess like 2B and that whole cast more. I guess.
Yeah. Which I think is really cool. I mean, like I've seen a lot of people also kind of like arguing like 2B would be really cool in Smash Bros. Like I think that could be cool.
Not another sword character, man.
But like, yeah, that was but like, yeah, like I mean, like it could be cool if you like utilize the pod a little bit more. Like that could be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But like it would still end up just being another anime sword fighter.
Yeah.
I could see like Pod being a assist trophy or something.
Dude, yeah, just get Pod in there somehow. Love that guy. I don't know, Justin, do you remember like the very end of that game, like the last cutscene between the two pods? Yeah. Like one of them's like, I feel embarrassed.
The writing in this game is really. It sometimes it just hits you. It's like really funny, or it could be like really emotional.
Yeah,
like some side person just having a conversation to themselves.
Dude, oh my, wait, Justin, is it the beginning of playthrough B where you have the robot like trying to like get its brother, like the bucket thing?
I think so. Yeah.
Dude, that part fucking trashed me. Like I had to just put down the game. I was like, I'm fucking dead. Like I want to die.
Was it because you tripped so many times?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, just because like I was like, I can't make it. So yeah, just came out last week, Nier Replicant version 1.22. This is a remaster of the original Nier, featuring. So the game features the younger protagonist, so it is like a remaster of Nier Replicant, but the character models have been totally rebuilt, and the combat has been totally done from the ground up. So they actually freelance contracted Platinum Games' combat director, who did directed the combat on Nier Automata, to come work with Square Enix on this game. So I actually was curious. Like a lot of people are like, why is Platinum not doing this one or like another one? And Platinum has declined. They said that they were offered the chance to work on Nier on this game, but they don't want to work on they like don't own the IP. Like Square Enix owns the IP, and they wanted to focus on their own IPs.
That's fair.
Which I get. Like, yeah. So I was about to say, like, Platinum's currently working on Project GG, which is a still to be revealed superhero game, as well as Bayonetta 3 for Nintendo, and then Babylon's Fall for Square Enix. So they're already developing 2 games that are owned by other people, and then their own 1 game. So, I don't know. Yeah. Also, they actually just opened a second studio, so like last year. So that's probably why. Yeah, they're kind of. It's funny because like Platinum like has been like good at like making their public image like, oh fuck, we're like the kings of action. Like they've had like a bunch of hits in a row now. Like, of course, Nier Automata, Bayonetta 1 and 2 were both huge, and then Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance was really good, and then Astral Chain was also like really well reviewed. But like everyone is kind of, including me, has like forgotten that like for 10 years like every single one of their games was shit pretty much. Like from 2000 to like 2010 basically, until Bayonetta 1 came out. Like kind of all their games were garbage. But I guess they've done a good job rebranding as like we're good at video games now.
I guess I didn't know about that.
Yeah, dude, they made like a shitty. So they've made a shitty Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. They made a shitty Legend of Korra game, and they made a shitty Transformers game.
I like that game. I've played that. It's okay.
Oh, Korra?
Only because it's skinned in Korra.
Yeah, like I heard that
it's
like
not a good game, but it's fine.
Yeah, I've heard that like that game like could have been good, but like you can, but like there aren't any other characters except Korra in the game.
Yes.
You can't play like Bolin.
It's not even that you can't play Bolin. He's like not even in the game anywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, you're just like doing your own thing, and
yeah.
You get to the only character that shows up in my memory is your polar dog.
Oh yeah, Naga.
Naga, yeah. There's like a level where you ride Naga, but people just like shooting things at you on like a third by third track, and all you gotta do is like move out of the way or jump over stuff. It's not good, but yeah, they've come a long way. I didn't realize they made that.
Yeah,
that's smart though that they're having them work. You said they were working on this game a little bit.
Just one person, but basically they're, what's his name, Isao or something, the combat
director,
the combat director from Platinum Games specifically. Like he was like freelance contracted to work with this studio that did the remasters called Toy Logic. So like Toy Logic like contracted him like as a freelancer to come from Platinum Games to work on Replicant, like the remaster, to do the combat. Okay. So like he was basically there just supervising, you know, like directing the actual programmers and stuff. But yeah, so the combat in the remaster is like very similar to Automata. It's not exactly the same, and also like it's weird because I guess like Nier Automata is like the most sci-fi thing I think I could like imagine, right? It's like extremely sci-fi, but like Nier, like Replicant, is like extremely fantasy oriented. Like there aren't like robots or anything, and it's like in a Final Fantasy ass kind of world. And like everyone's like using magic and stuff, and so like even your character like doesn't have like machine stuff. Like your character is like has a companion, a magic book called Grimoire Weiss, who would like the pod like flies around with you and is your companion. But he's like much more of a character, and he talks with Nier like really frequently. And I've mentioned he talks like this. These young whippersnappers are always getting into trouble.
Nigel Thornberg.
Yeah, that's smashing. And like the I don't know, I really like the character Grimoire Weiss. He's pretty funny. But he makes a good companion, and like I think it gives the story a lot more like character, especially like I don't know, like having a game like where there's like large empty, like an open world game where there's like large empty areas, like just having the characters like be able to talk to each other is really important, I think. You know what I mean? Like, even in, like, Automata, like, there's, like, large empty portions of this map where you're just kind of running across, and, like, the conversation between, like, 2B and 9S about what they're doing kind of, like, is supposed to hold your interest, you know, while you're doing that. So, like,
I've noticed a couple of those, but I feel like I don't want to say they throw away almost, but I'd like it if it was explored more. Maybe it's different in the different playthroughs, but, like,
yeah, like things change really dramatically after playthrough B, like extremely dramatically, which I won't like spoil here. But like, this remaster of Nier Replicant also has an extra post game mode called 15 Nightmares, which I have not gotten to yet. But It's supposedly like cut content from the first game that they've kind of turned into new content, and you get to play as like the older NieR, like from Gestalt. So it takes place like 15 years in the future basically, and I'm not sure what it is, but I mean that is some added content they put in the remaster at least. So I'm curious what that is. And then so this is another small thing that I think a lot of people probably don't know about. That there is a mobile game called NieR Reincarnation, which is only out in Japan right now, but it is coming to the West, and it's a full it's a straightforward full 30-hour RPG also.
Wow. On a phone?
But it's only mobile, yeah. And it's actually there's no loot boxes or check-in bonuses or anything, it's literally just like a console game, but it's on your phone. And it's apparently really good. It's gotten extremely good reviews in Japan. They said everyone's yeah, the combat feels really good and shit. It's literally just another entry in the series, but it is kind of strange that they went straight for just to put it on mobile. But we downplay mobile here a lot in the West, and especially in the United States, but
big in the East, man.
Dude, in Japan and China and shit, you have no idea, man, how big mobile is. Cause most people just, and I mean I understand to a degree, because a lot of people over there just don't have money for a console, which is I get, but that's why Genshin Impact was such a big deal, putting a console kind of game on made for phones,
Yeah.
With crossplay and stuff with consoles.
I think Genshin also has that thing that I found out it's big in Asia, where it's a gacha game, and gacha games are apparently
yeah, they love that shit.
Main tier games,
Yeah, it's
a game.
It's Fire Emblem Heroes.
A gacha is basically anything where I think it merely just means loot boxes, honestly. Basically, it's something where there is a real money component to it, and you can buy something and you're not sure what you're going to get.
Okay.
And the whole point of it is to re-roll your favorite, your waifu basically from an anime or a game or whatever.
Yeah.
Fate is a big one, I guess.
So
Fate series.
Yeah, and it's often extremely predatory is the issue, because okay, there's a great example is Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game, because that's a gacha game, and so what you're trying to get your Fire Emblem waifus, right? You're I got to get this waifu from this game, right? And the thing is that when you buy you can buy orbs or something, all right? And so
yeah, it's orbs.
Yeah, and then you have to put 5 orbs together, and you get a gacha pull. They call it pulls, when you try to get a character. The problem is the way that they have the game is that buying you can only buy orbs in packs of 4. So you buy a pack of 4 orbs, and then you have to buy a second pack, right, to get 5. And then you got 3 more, so you're guess I gotta get another pack to buy 2 more, right, to open another character, etc. So stuff like that is really common in gacha games. I think Genshin Impact is the same way.
And it's not for example, Justin, if there's a pop, I don't know, let's just say there's a NieR gacha game. There's not enough characters to make it, but
right.
If there's a NieR gacha game, to pull 2B would be a 0.5% chance.
Yeah,
or something.
0.05% maybe.
Yeah. You're essentially gambling for your waifu.
Mm-hmm.
The commander of the camp you'd get often or something.
Yeah.
Or Jackass maybe.
And usually
Jackass.
those really, and the 0.5% ones are super strong, because you're supposed to fight them with other people, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And this 0.5% one is really strong. I have to either get really lucky or just spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then it's you could upgrade them further. If you roll them twice, you could upgrade them just to get 5% stronger. And it's
it sounds the purpose is to spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
It is.
Mm-hmm. It's not the best.
Yeah, I'm ragging on it a bit, but I played it for a bit. It was fun at the time.
I put 6 or 7 hours into it, dude. It's hilarious because I actually pulled in Genshin Impact. I actually pulled one of the 0.05% chance characters, my third box or whatever that I got just by playing in the game.
It was the Luke or something.
And it was the water girl, one of them. What's her
Mona?
face? Is it Mona? It might not have been Mona.
She's like the one with the hat.
Maybe. Dude, that was so fucking long ago. Who remembers?
I was trying to think of the rare ones.
It was, yeah, I think it might have been Mona. I don't know. She was a rare one, though. And then, like, when I got it, I was like, oh, man, I got one of the rarest ones already. And then I, like, lost my motivation to keep playing, and I uninstalled it.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
It
so...
a lot of money, I think.
I think so.
I spent $200 on Genshin.
No, you didn't. No, fuck you didn't.
Gamer confessions, dude.
Yeah, I did.
I spent,
and
like...
When I played it for, like, 2 months.
When
Wait.
Overwatch like first came out, like that first Christmas, I spent like $200 on loot boxes.
Damn.
Holy shit. Well, I guess the same as...
I wasn't fishing for waifus, but I mean, in a way, wasn't I?
I was like fishing for a husbando because like he was actually the strongest guy in the game, so I was like, I gotta get this guy, make it easy for myself. And then it was easy for myself, and I was like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know, Justin. Do you want to throw out anything else about like the themes and stuff of this game? Because we probably got to wrap up soon.
Man, I want to talk about the ending.
Matt, close your. Okay. How about we do like a little spoiler
2
segment?
minutes. Yeah.
I'll put a spoiler tag in the time.
Okay.
The timestamps.
We'll keep it really quick. Matt, if you want to like deafen us for 2
Oh,
minutes.
I've said this at the start. I don't care if you guys talk about spoilers.
I don't want to ruin it though for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be ruined. Ruin me.
That I don't want you to like hear that and be like, oh, okay, and then not play it is the thing.
Okay. If I set my mind to complete a game, I'll fucking complete that game. And I want to complete Nier.
Okay.
Beat Cuphead already. Called out.
Yeah.
Already beat ending B. No, I'm just kidding.
While we were talking.
It's been like 30 minutes. No.
All right. Well, I think let's just talk about it really
Okay,
quick.
sure.
Because the ending to me, I think, is kind of what set the game apart from anything else I've played. Like at that point, it stopped being a video game and it kind of became art, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
I know. It's like
art.
it sounds like really like
Pretentious.
but it's like absolutely true. Like I feel like that way about like Death Stranding too. Like, yeah, I agree with you because okay, so the idea is that ending E, like after you've done like all of the shit and like everyone's dead and gone, is that you're a little spaceship, and you basically what happens at the end is that you upload the last little bit of consciousness into this little rocket, and before the world is destroyed, you launch it off into space with the brief glimmer of hope that like it will survive, and that like life and like humanity through the idea of just consciousness being uploaded into this little rocket like will continue on past the destruction of the Earth, because like the end of ending like C and D is that like the world is destroyed and like, you know, androids are gone, humanity's gone, except for this tiny little rocket, and you then the rocket flies into space, and you from a top-down view become the rocket, and you have to fight the credits of the game in this little shooter, and this little rocket is trying to make its way across space and time to somewhere safe, basically, to continue the very existence of life. You know, the concept of life is what's at stake, and your little rocket guy that it is legitimately like made to be impossible to beat. Like the credits are attacking you, and like all of the, you know, the names of all the people who worked on the game are attacking you, basically. And it's this like harrowing experience, and the music that plays, like that fucking song, like is so amazing. It's called Weight of the World. It's an amazing, beautiful song. I still like, I love that song. But
and then from there it kind of goes on. I think you like you end up, you can't do it by yourself.
You can't. No, it's okay. Actually impossible for you to do it by yourself.
And so it'll start asking you some like yes or no questions. It'll be like, are games meaningless? What are some other ones?
It's like, yeah, like
is life futile or something?
Yeah, like is it futile? Like if you don't if you don't get anything, like shit, like, you know, can you truly be altruistic? Can you care for somebody without them caring for you? You know, these like philosophical questions that are being posed to you, and like you have to keep answering them like while you're fighting, you know, and eventually like other ships will come out to help you, and like with these other ships coming out, like, and they all have names, they all have usernames on them from other real people, and all of them, like, you know, working together with you, all of these ships are you kind of like, work together, and together only you can win, and at the end, like, you escape with your little rocket, and the game asks you, like, okay, like, you would not have made it out without help from other people. They have given to you without anything being expected in return. Like, you will never be able to repay them for what they've done for you. But what you can do is pay it forward. And it offers you that if you delete your save data, like, everything that you've done, and you make the last 30 hours of your life meaningless, basically, like, you take the meaning from what you've done here, you delete everything, then we will send your ship out to help somebody else in need. And it will help them survive. And then you can choose to do that. Like, you delete everything that you've done and everything you've worked for, and your ship goes off out into the sunset to help save somebody else. And that's the end of the story.
It was really cool. I was watching this guy's YouTube channel. He was explaining like the philosophy and stuff.
Yeah.
His name's Michael Saba or Sabah or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he was talking about something called samsara. It's like an Eastern philosophy thing.
Uh-huh.
It's about it's about like breaking the cycle. And like giving up possessions and things that like anchor you to the physical world,
mm-hmm.
so you can like achieve enlightenment. And like then you go back and you look at like the first line of the game, and it's 2B talking about like about the cycle that she's in, because she's having to do what she's doing with 9S, and I don't know, she's talking about like killing God and like breaking the cycle, and then
I get what you're saying. Like the idea is that like there's like this endless cycle of like life and rebirth and death, and like the only good thing that you can, like, we're all gonna die, everything is gonna end, and the only way to make meaning of your life is to give to others, basically, like to sacrifice and to suffer for others. Like, is what gives meaning to us.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, someone made a comment. They were like, life's struggle and search for meaning is the closest thing to universal truth, which is like kind of what you're looking for in a game, for like something that'll make you human, I guess. Yeah.
And like that's the idea at the end, is like these androids like understand this concept at the end, like, and so the pods are like talking to each other, and they understand this concept of like, this is the cycle that all life and all death is, like, but what we can do is to just give, and like that, I mean, that's it. That's what makes us human, is like the ability to give without taking.
So Nirav.
Yes.
With that said, what did you make the decision?
Yeah, of course I did. Are you kidding?
Or did I?
I don't
know anyone that didn't.
I have not. I've talked to a lot of people, but I've not talked to a single person who didn't do that.
The guy, I'm gonna call him out. The guy that got me onto this game, I was like, oh man, yeah, I just deleted my save file. Is this for real? And he was like, why did you delete it?
Jesus Christ!
And looking back now, I'm like, are you a monster?
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's like you missed the entire point of the game,
Yeah, for real. He was like, no, I gotta have my waifu.
Jesus Christ. Waifu's over philosophy for sure. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, yeah, Matt, I don't know if that has made you want to continue the game. I hope it does. But
it just makes me want 100% before we get to that point. So I'm not like, shit, I forgot a side quest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But it does tell you when you hit the point of no return. Like, it says like, hey, you got to do your side quests and shit now.
That's why I haven't replayed it, because I was like,
I don't think you're supposed to replay it. It's really not. No, I don't think it's.
You do kind of replay it from AP.
Yeah. I don't think that they want you to come back to this and be like, I'm gonna 100% it or whatever. Like, I mean, like, the entire point is that, like, all your. I don't know. Like, games and movies have two different things going on, because like at the end of a movie, if you find out that like, if the point of the movie is like everything you did was meaningless, or everything that happened had no point, or like it was just a dream, or whatever the fuck, it's like, okay, well, that sucked, but that was like 2 hours of my life gone, whatever. And like you were physically the one doing it in a video game, and it's like, and then, okay, here's some, I don't know, like, this is, I guess, who cares anymore? So Far Cry 5 had the same kind of concept in a way of like, everything you've done was meaningless, but like that was like the end of another 35-hour game, and the way that they presented that at the end was like, everything that you did for the last 35 hours was meaningless and pointless, and it was always going to end with you losing, so fuck you. Gotcha. And like, I was like, I don't like that was bad. Yeah, and like, this game is very different, because it's like, no, everything you did has meaning because you're willing to give it up. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, let's end spoilers.
And spoilers. Great game.
Um,
Great ending.
So yeah. Make sure you do all this shit before that.
Well,
But
thank you for the warning.
yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I said. Like, I mean, the game will tell you like if you want to like 100% like do your shit. But okay, we gotta finish with. Are there enough ghosts?
No,
Are there any ghosts?
I don't.
There's a lot of
What is that head
demons
thing?
in the
It's like
first
a head
one.
thing that rolls around. It kind of looks like a demon ghost.
That's
thing.
that's ML. He's one of the characters from the first game.
Oh yeah.
He has like one of the best lines in that game. What does he say? Like 2B and 9S find him, and he's like, "Hi, everyone," and then I think 9S goes, "That thing's weird. We should kill it." And he goes, just runs away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw that
I love the
yesterday.
writing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the shopping mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Uh,
I laugh so hard.
All right. So we're gonna do a
Okay.
quick last segment here. This is a Good Games Inc. Junior. So what this is gonna be is basically we're creating the next game in this series, okay? And we're gonna get a title from a random name generator. We're gonna have to figure out what this game is. All right. So this is gonna be NieR : and then whatever title comes up, okay?
It's near colon.
Jesus, please don't. Okay, this is NieR Major Tetris Planet. Okay, so this is an easy crossover between Tetris and the NieR franchise, right?
Yeah,
Well, it's
I mean
like
that's
all-
money in the bank.
It's like all the robots are just like Tetris blocks, I guess.
Is this like an open world game though, but like you're doing Tetris like with robots?
It's Tetris 99, but you have to help people finish their blocks now. You have to sacrifice.
The
your own
object
game.
is to lose.
Yeah.
Major
I
Tetris.
guess.
I don't know. Okay, let's try a different one. How about let's see. Could generate NieR Fiery Battleship Core.
I'm into it.
I think that's just like the regular game.
Yeah, that's probably that's actually already
This
happened.
fiery battleship.
Reminds me of that first boss.
Wow, this is an interesting crossover. This is NieR The Simpsons Wizard versus Capcom.
Dude, this would be like Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
This would be like this near version of it, and I guess Simpsons.
And the NieR versus
Yeah.
The Simpsons versus Capcom.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate crossover. It's like Avengers is the most ambitious crossover. It's like, well, actually,
Would it be NieR and the Simpsons characters, or NieR drawn as Simpsons characters?
No, it's all three of them. It's those three groups of
Oh,
characters.
okay.
Yeah,
So
they're
like
terrible.
you've
Yeah,
got
like
like
Homer,
fucking like
9S.
Mega Man,
Yeah.
like Homer Simpson and like 2B like in a fight together.
yeah.
I like those Simpsons games. I don't know if you ever played them.
I know like the Road Rage one. Is that the one you're
Road Rage
thinking
is
of?
fun, and then they have
Hit
like
and
a
Run.
beat 'em up at like all the arcades. If you ever go to an arcade anymore, but
Hit and run.
Yeah. it's called like Simpsons Street Rage or something. I don't know.
Did you play the mobile game? I forgot what it's called, but
Do mobile games,
like
dude.
Farmville-esque.
No offense to anyone who likes mobile games, but it's not for me.
I forgot what it's
Disgusting.
called, but I saw it and I was like, this is not really my thing, I guess.
All right, here's the last one. This is NieR Miniature Juggalo Warfare.
I feel like the Juggalos would fit in really nicely.
I feel like they might fit in really well. 'Cause I've heard that the Juggalos are like a really like philanthropic people. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that they're like the nicest community. They've done like a ton of like charity and stuff. Like,
The ICP guys were talking about.
yeah. Like the fans of Insane Clown Posse. Like they
Yeah.
apparently have like organized like crazy large humanitarian efforts and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and they're like really like wholesome. You know, they like are really nice people. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know these people personally, but
I mean, I'd like to believe it.
I think Jackass
People
is
are
maybe a
difficult.
juggalo.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe that's like part of their like ICP disinformation campaign or something.
You think
I
ICP
don't
is
know. I'll
a
have to look that
concentrated
up. That's-
disinformation campaign?
Yes.
How dare you slander the Juggalos on this podcast,
They're
Justin?
gonna come for GameBusters. No,
I hope they do. No,
Throw
there's
magnets at
don't
them.
please. There's so many of them, and I'm afraid.
gamers rise up against the Juggalos.
Jesus. Okay.
It's like it'll be more better than the Josh fight. It'll just be Juggalos just gamers.
I can't believe I didn't know about that Josh fight till it was already over. Like, come on. Like, I really would have wanted to like be like betting on different Joshes. You know?
There's like a betting pool for was What's the over under for Josh?
what's the percent chance Josh takes this one home?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll go and close out. So thank you guys for joining us. And Matt, what do you have any plugs? What are you working on right now?
Right now I'm working on finishing NieR. Shout out to GameLusters, all you guys. You know,
the name of the podcast
great
we're on right
people.
now that we've forgotten about.
Yeah. If you like games, check out the ggf.io.
Jesus. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
really a great place to check your games.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of it.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for. I mean, like, I can't advertise it because, like, we didn't make any sort of contracting deal for advertisement, but I guess you can.
Oh.
Sure.
Well, I can because I personally like the
sure.
wonderful website.
Yeah.
You already shouted out Subway, so like you didn't even care.
I shouted at Subway, not out. I not
okay.
shouted out. We don't. We're definitively anti-Subway podcast.
Yeah. We're more like a Mr. Subs. I guess you guys don't have it.
We don't have. Yeah, like, do you have Mr. Sub, Justyn? Do you know what that is? I don't know what that is.
I've heard of that.
It's like a Canadian Subway.
Do you guys have
Canada,
Jersey
but-
Mike's?
Oh yeah.
That one's pretty big down here, and then like Firehouse is really big. I don't like Firehouse though, honestly.
I think there's one in like London, but it's like super far from.
You're losing potential sponsors. We like everyone.
You're right. I love the fresh taste of a Subway sandwich in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I just
love
love having a foot long down my throat. What?
Oh man.
Jesus. Okay, Justyn, do you have anything you wanna advertise here?
No.
Great.
I'm not working on anything, so
I'm working on myself.
on myself.
Yeah, so make sure you can find us on Twitter at GameBustersPod. You can find me on Twitter at Gondizi. And we have, rate us on iTunes if you happen to be able to access that. That would be super cool. If it's a good rating, please. 5 stars. 5 stars only.
You guys are on Spotify, right?
Yeah, we're on all the platforms to listen to, for sure. But Spotify doesn't have ratings or reviews, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
If you're like me and like to listen on the go, Spotify is a good way. You could download it. That's just me.
Yeah, our podcast host, Anchor, was actually bought by Spotify a few weeks ago. So, yeah, we love Spotify here.
Oh, okay.
Because we're contractually obligated to.
Thanks for giving me the script, by the way, for that whole Spotify.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good.
Okay. So I think that let's close out here. I don't know, Justyn, if you want to say something philosophical, sort of like to bring us home.
Yeah. If you are ever in Ireland, stay away from the sushi. It can never be good for you.
Mm.
Eat. What do they eat in Ireland? Potatoes? Or
I guess
man.
that.
did they have?
Yeah,
Wait, was the potato famine that they had a lot of potatoes, or they didn't have any potatoes?
I think they ran out. That's the whole point of famine, right?
Right, but I thought the
I think
point.
all they
I
had
thought the
was
point was like
potatoes.
all they had was potatoes.
Oh, man.
No. Well, I thought it was like
Irish people, get at us. Tell us about your
Yeah.
potato
That's
situation.
Ryan when you need him.
At me at Gondizi on Twitter.
Wait,
I'll respond to you.